All right, let's imagine something for a second.
Right.
This shimmering white marble masterpiece
Yeah.
just rising up from the banks of a river.
Beautiful.
Delicate minarets,
Right.
intricate details,
Hmm.
telling a story of love and loss.
I liked it.
You probably already guessed it.
The Taj Mahal.
Exactly, we're talking about the Taj Mahal.
Yeah, of course.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
What if this iconic landmark, this
Mhm.
symbol of eternal love,
Uh-huh.
was never actually intended to be an emperor's tomb?
Really?
That's just one of the many kind of surprising facts
Yeah.
that we're going to uncover today
Sounds good.
as we dive into the history of the Taj Mahal.
The Taj Mahal.
Yeah, so for this deep dive,
Okay.
we're going to be drawing some insights from an interview with Dr. Meena Chita Razvi.
Okay.
She's an art historian, specializes in the Mughal era,
Mughal era.
and she had this really interesting conversation with Dan Snow on the History Hit podcast.
Ugh.
And honestly, there's a lot more to this story than you might think.
Yeah, the story of the Taj Mahal goes way beyond just a simple love story.
Totally.
It's like woven into the rise and fall of one of India's most powerful dynasties,
Which is
the Mughal Empire.
the Mughal Empire, that's right.
Yes.
So to really understand it, we have to go back to its founder,
Who was?
Babur.
Babur. Okay.
And he wasn't just any ruler.
Right.
He was a direct descendant of both Genghis Khan and Timur.
Wow.
So we're talking like
An impressive lineage.
it's a history buff's dream team.
Seriously?
But Babur wasn't content just to ride on the coattails of his ancestors.
You're right.
He had ambitions of his own.
He wanted
He
to.
wanted to carve out his own empire,
Yeah.
revive the legacy of his Timurid ancestors.
Uh-huh.
So this ambition, it led him on this incredible journey
Yeah.
from the Fergana Valley to Samarkand.
Okay.
He was trying to reclaim that glory of the Timurid Empire.
Interesting.
But fate, as it often does,
Yeah.
had other plans.
Oh, yeah. Fate always has other plans.
And the political landscape of India in the early 16th century,
Okay.
it presented this really unique opportunity.
What happened?
Babur, being the brilliant military strategist that
Yeah.
he was,
Right.
he seized it.
He did.
So at this time,
Yeah.
the Delhi Sultanate was crumbling,
Okay.
which was the ruling power in India at the time.
I see.
And all these rebellious factions,
Mm.
they saw their chance.
Of course.
And they actually invited Babur to intervene.
Really?
Right, yeah.
Like they brought him in.
They kind of wanted to capitalize on the chaos,
Right.
but I don't think they realized they were inviting a force
That they couldn't control.
that they couldn't control.
That's often how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in 1526,
Okay.
Babur, despite being totally outnumbered,
Wow.
he won this decisive victory against the Delhi Sultanate
Yeah.
at the Battle of Panipat.
Okay.
This was a huge turning point
It was.
in Indian history,
Yeah.
and this is what gave birth to the Mughal Empire,
Right. And Babur, unlike his Mongol ancestors. Yeah.
who were, known for their nomadic lifestyle.
Right.
He was deeply influenced by the Timurid culture,
Yeah.
which was all about these magnificent courts.
Yeah.
And they were patronizing the arts and creating this really sophisticated urban environment.
Right. So it was a real cultural shift.
Yeah.
Because the Mughals weren't just about conquering. They wanted to establish this refined and powerful empire
Right.
and leave this lasting legacy on Indian art, architecture, culture.
Exactly.
And speaking of legacies,
Yeah.
few Mughal emperors really embodied this grand vision
More than me.
more than Shah Jahan,
The Shah.
the man behind the Taj Mahal.
The Taj Mahal. Okay.
But even before he ascended to the throne,
Uh-huh.
he was already making a name for himself
As
as this patron of the arts, builder of all these extraordinary structures.
Interesting.
He really understood the power of architecture
Yeah.
like no other.
What did he do?
His projects were so carefully designed.
Yeah. To showcase the Mughal Empire's wealth, power, and artistic prowess.
Right.
Each minaret, each archway, each delicate inlay,
Wow.
it spoke volumes
Wow.
about the dynasty's ambition and sophistication.
Very cool.
So we know that Shah Jahan was a visionary ruler,
Yes.
but what really sets the Taj Mahal apart
Is
is this love story
right.
that inspired its creation.
Okay.
And it all began with his beloved wife, Mumtaz Mahal.
Mumtaz Mahal.
Yeah, originally named Arjuman Bano Begum.
Got it.
Their relationship, it was
so
truly exceptional, especially for a royal couple back then,
cool. In what way?
court historians.
Okay.
And their writings were often really closely scrutinized by the emperor himself.
Right.
They describe Mumtaz Mahal as more than just Shah Jahan's wife.
Uh-huh.
She was his confidant, his advisor,
Okay.
and his constant companion.
Really?
She was accompanying him even on military campaigns.
Wow, they were practically inseparable.
Practically inseparable.
Yeah.
And their bond just deepened over time.
That's beautiful.
I mean, they had 14 children together.
14 children, wow.
But then tragedy struck.
Oh, no.
In 1631, Mumtaz Mahal died giving birth to their last child.
Oh, that's awful.
And the grief that overwhelmed Shah Jahan was just profound.
Yeah.
Shah Jahan was a man who was used to projecting strength and authority.
Right.
But he was utterly heartbroken.
Really?
He withdrew from public life for a whole week.
A whole week.
Which was a significant gesture for a Mughal emperor.
Yeah.
Whose daily routine involved showcasing his presence to the court and to the public.
Absolutely.
He put on these white mourning clothes.
Okay.
His tears just flowed constantly.
That's truly heartbreaking.
It is. And his vision even deteriorated because he was weeping so much.
Wow.
And this profound grief is what led him to embark on this monumental project.
Which was?
This grand expression of his love and a lasting tribute to his beloved Mumtaz.
The Taj Mahal.
The Taj Mahal, exactly.
And it's important to note that the Taj Mahal,
Yeah.
while, yes, it was a monument to love, it was also a very powerful statement of Mughal grandeur.
Yes.
It was a symbol of his devotion to his wife, yes.
Yeah.
But also his power as an emperor.
Right.
And the artistic brilliance of his reign.
It wasn't meant to be hidden away either.
It wasn't.
The whole complex was designed to include public spaces.
Okay.
So people from all walks of life could witness its magnificence.
So it was like a public kind of participation in
a way, yeah, participate in the commemoration of Mumtaz Mahal.
Yeah, interesting.
So the layout, it was quite deliberate.
What did they do?
They built this area called the Taj Ganj.
Taj Ganj.
Yeah, which is this vibrant area with bazaars, caravanserais.
Okay.
And it was right next to the main complex.
So it wasn't just a secluded mausoleum.
Yeah.
It was a place where society could interact with this amazing monument.
So the Taj Mahal is clearly
more than
just a tomb.
Yeah.
It's a testament to love, symbol of power, and it's this reflection of the Mughal Empire's lasting legacy. But here's a twist.
Okay.
You might not expect this.
What?
The Taj Mahal,
yeah,
as grand and symmetrical as it is, was never initially intended to be Shah Jahan's final resting place.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the architectural design.
Right.
With Mumtaz Mahal's tomb right in the center. It really suggests it was initially meant just for her.
Interesting.
But as fate would have it,
often does,
the Taj Mahal would eventually become the final resting place for both of them.
Both of them.
So that's where we'll pick up in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll uncover how Shah Jahan ended up buried next to his beloved Mumtaz.
Sounds good.
We'll explore some of the myths and controversies surrounding the Taj Mahal.
Okay.
And we'll dive into how this magnificent monument
yes.
has become entangled in modern-day political and cultural debates.
Really interesting. Can't wait.
Stay tuned.
I will. So, as we were talking about before, the Taj Mahal was meant to be this perfectly symmetrical monument, right? Just a testament to Shah Jahan's love for Mumtaz Mahal.
Yeah.
But history, as it often does, had other plans.
Always does. Always throws a wrench in the works.
It really does. And in this case, the story takes a pretty dramatic turn when Shah Jahan's son Aurangzeb enters the picture.
Ah, yes. Aurangzeb family dynamics in royal courts, you know.
Oh, they can get messy.
They can get messy.
And the Mughal Empire was no exception.
So what happened?
Well, when Shah Jahan got sick, his sons, including Aurangzeb, they started fighting for the throne.
Makes sense.
It was a time of intense rivalry, real power struggles.
So full-on palace intrigue.
Basically.
Okay, so what did Aurangzeb do?
Well, he was a shrewd strategist.
Okay.
And a master manipulator, and he saw his chance and he took it.
What'd he do?
He pretended to be protecting his ailing father.
Okay.
But really, he was orchestrating this cunning plan.
Jesus.
He managed to imprison Shah Jahan in Agra Fort
Put away.
and essentially took control of the empire.
Wow. So Shah Jahan, he recovered from his illness?
He did. He remained a captive.
A captive in the fort.
In the fort.
His reign just
came to an end.
Just like that.
Pretty much.
Wow, that's wild. So the emperor who built this monument to eternal love,
yeah,
imprisoned by his own son, forced to spend his final years just gazing at it from afar.
Yeah, it's kind of a poignant image, isn't it?
It's like Shakespearean.
It really is. Shah Jahan, this powerful man, reduced to a prisoner.
Yeah.
His only solace, this view of the Taj Mahal.
Just this reminder of his love.
Exactly. And when he died in 1666,
Okay.
he was laid to rest beside Mumtaz Mahal,
Oh, wow.
making the Taj Mahal this dual mausoleum.
So it became the final resting place for both of them?
Yes, it did.
But did they change the design at all?
Well, that's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Shah Jahan's tomb, it's magnificent, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but it does disrupt the perfect symmetry of the original design.
Also.
If you look closely, you'll notice that his tomb is slightly off-center,
Oh, is he?
which tells us it was a later addition, not part of the original plan.
So like the Taj Mahal's own history is mirroring all the complexities and unexpected turns of life itself.
That's a good way to put it.
So, but you mentioned that there's some modern day controversy surrounding the Taj Mahal.
Yeah, unfortunately there is. In recent times, it's gotten caught up in these attempts to rewrite history,
Okay.
which has been driven by the rise of Hindu nationalism in India.
Wait, hold on. I'm a little bit lost here.
Okay.
What's the connection between Hindu nationalism and the Taj Mahal?
It comes down to narratives and the power that they have.
Okay.
You see Hindu nationalism as an ideology.
Mm-hmm.
It seeks to establish this Hindu-centric identity for India,
Right.
often downplaying or even erasing the contributions of other cultures and religions, especially Islam.
So how does the Taj Mahal fit into all of this?
Well, some proponents of this Hindu nationalism, they've tried to reframe the Taj Mahal,
Okay.
a symbol of Mughal artistry, a UNESCO World Heritage Site,
Right.
as a Hindu temple dedicated to Lord Shiva.
Whoa, hold on. Are they saying that the Mughals didn't build the Taj Mahal?
That's basically what they're claiming.
Really?
Yeah. They say that the Mughals destroyed Hindu temples
Right.
and then built mosques on top of them.
Wow.
And they use this to try and reclaim what they see as their lost heritage.
But isn't there historical evidence that shows that the Taj Mahal is a Mughal creation?
Absolutely. There's tons of historical documentation, architectural analysis, even contemporary accounts that confirm its Mughal origin.
But they're just ignoring that.
Well, they often disregard these facts,
Wow.
or they twist them to fit their narrative.
It just seems like such a slippery slope to start rewriting history.
It is.
Like it can have some pretty serious consequences.
Absolutely. When we manipulate or erase historical facts,
Yes,
it
sir.
really distorts our understanding of the past
Right.
and leads to this skewed perception of the present.
Exactly.
It can even be used to justify discriminatory practices or incite violence.
So the Taj Mahal, this monument meant to symbolize eternal love,
Yeah.
has become a symbol of something much more complex and contentious.
I think that's a really good way to put it. It's almost as if it's reflecting the tensions and the struggles within modern India itself.
So are there other myths or misconceptions surrounding the Taj Mahal?
There are quite a few, actually. One of the most persistent ones is this story that Shah Jahan blinded or mutilated the architect.
Oh, yeah, I heard that one.
Yeah,
To ensure that he could never create anything as beautiful again.
exactly.
I always thought it was a little too dramatic.
It's a classic example of what we call an Orientalist trope.
Okay.
It's this Western fantasy that projects this image of a cruel and despotic Eastern ruler onto Shah Jahan.
Got it. So more fiction than fact.
Definitely the architects who worked on the Taj Mahal, they continued to work on other projects for Shah Jahan long after it was finished.
Oh, okay.
It wouldn't have made any sense for him to eliminate such skilled craftsmen.
Especially after creating something like the Taj Mahal.
Right.
It's a relief to know that that one's been debunked.
Yeah.
But it does make you wonder, how do we as people trying to understand history separate fact from fiction?
That's a great question, and that's where critical thinking comes in.
Right.
We can't just accept one narrative as the truth.
Okay.
We need to question our sources.
Yeah.
Think about the motivations behind the stories being told and be open to different perspectives.
It's like being a detective.
It is.
You have to look for clues and try and piece together the evidence.
You got it.
So we've covered a lot today,
We have.
from the origins of the Mughal Empire to these modern controversies surrounding the Taj Mahal.
It's been a fascinating journey.
It has. And, you know, it's important to remember that the Taj Mahal,
Yes.
while it's an incredible building,
Yeah,
it's also this reminder that history is not static.
it's not.
It's always being interpreted and reinterpreted.
And those interpretations can really have a big impact on how we understand the world around us.
Okay, so we're going to wrap up part 2 of our deep dive here,
Okay.
but make sure to stay tuned for the final part. We're going to explore what this story tells us about the power of narratives, the importance of critical thinking, and what it means to really engage with history in a meaningful and responsible way. We've been on quite the journey, haven't we?
We have, from love and grandeur to, well, politics.
Exactly. And I think what's so interesting about the Taj Mahal,
Yes.
it really shows us the power of narratives.
How so?
Well, we've seen how different groups interpret the same things in totally different ways.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with history. Everyone's got their own angle.
Right. And often their own agendas.
Yeah, for sure.
Which brings us back to, critical thinking.
More important than ever, right?
Seriously. Especially with so much information out there, social media, everything.
You got to be careful what you believe these days.
So it's not enough to just read something and take it at face value.
No way. You have to question things.
Look at the sources.
Think about why someone might be telling that story.
And be open to other perspectives.
Exactly. Be a detective.
Right. You got to look for the evidence.
Piece it together.
Figure out the context.
It's a puzzle.
And sometimes the pieces don't fit perfectly.
That's where it gets really interesting.
It's like we've been saying, the Taj Mahal is more than just a beautiful building.
It's a symbol.
It's history, culture, identity.
And it makes you think.
It does. Makes you question what you think you know.
And appreciate the nuances.
Totally.
Okay.
So the next time you see that picture of the Taj Mahal.
Or any monument, really.
Right. Remember, there's more to it.
Always more than meets the eye.
Layers of history, culture, politics.
All wrapped up in one.
It's fascinating.
It is.
So it's up to us to dig deeper, ask questions, engage with history responsibly.
Don't just accept one side of the story.
Be open to different viewpoints.
Even if they challenge what you thought you knew.
That's what makes history so exciting.
It's always changing, always evolving.
It's been an amazing journey, debunking myths, exploring controversies, and uncovering the truth behind the Taj Mahal.
It really has. I hope everyone listening feels inspired to learn more about the Mughal era. There's so much to discover.
I agree. And remember, history isn't just some dusty old textbook.
It's alive. It shapes us.
So thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive. We hope you'll subscribe for more explorations of, just about everything.
Until next time, keep those minds curious.
And those questions coming.